Yes, it's on the draw. It is late, very late, but we are here as usual. There are many things that can stop us, but I don't know if they will succeed. We are here. We are doing what we have to do. Right. Yours is to make sure that we don't have to remind you guys to like the video. You just do what you have to do. Like the morning gang. You know, the morning gang, nobody reminds the morning gang of anything. It just happens.
Yeah.
So let us adopt that criteria. We are here, cold, hot, difficult times. We are here with you. So remember, I see Maria Gambi. It's been a while since I see this member, but I'm happy to see that you are still a member. On that note, please become a member. We still want to see you as a member.
Sorry, guys.
I'm glad to admit. We still want to see you as a member. We also still see
as a monitoring spirit.
As a monitoring spirit, indeed. It's at night and there's aircon and we still want to see you here as a member. We still want to see you as a subscriber. We still want to see you pressing that like button. Let's not remind you. Just do the right thing as we produce this. Nxumalo today was Nxumalo.
Hi.
We have learned to know.
The Nxumalo that we know has made a return.
That is a Nxumalo that we have learned to know.
Yes, the first one we saw.
Yes.
The one that we know. Okay,
yes.
Not this one that has been timid.
Apologetic,
and
very
not
apologetic.
Sure.
Yes.
Hey, Nxumalo kwatile, guys.
We like this Nxumalo. That's the Nxumalo we know. And I like the angry defense for that matter. All of them, you know. I like what is happening in that court. Even though we must always say it, the judge does seem to be on the other side. Just one side, in my opinion. And that's obvious. That's the public opinion that is there. We are just observing on the basis of what we see.
He's very consistent.
He has never, and I'm telling you today, I would pay you money if I've had this judge asking a question that seeks to assist the defense. And yet he says he's not supposed to assist anyone. He has, in my opinion, in many ways, assisted the state several times.
He has.
And we cannot shy away from that. That's what we see. That's what we observe. And the same way he's going to make a judgment on these people is the same way that we are also judging him, because we're seeing the evidence of him in court. He has never, since I started this case with him, never assisted the defense. Never. In fact, he has made them feel like he's making them favors there and there when he maybe has to adjourn. Lindy Bamb, thank you very much. We appreciate you. May God bless you all the time for remembering us. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. We appreciate you. So that's what this judge is all about. Making the defense feel as if they are being done favors, if they had to excuse themselves and all that. That's what this judge is all about. But in my opinion, I would take Mr. Afro any day, anytime. And I honestly think if this case continued with Mr. Afro, it would have probably came out a better case. And I'm saying this because I think Mr. Afro had everything that a human being would have, in my opinion.
Which is?
Emotions and everything. That's why some of the things did happen in a favor of state, but let us be honest. He was a far better judge than the judge that is sitting here. And I know people might say it takes time. Maybe that's the reason. Because he has to scrutinize.
Slow. Maumela.
Yeah, but begu slow, but begu no bu in the court. Yes, it happened that eventually Tifo was taken out. It happened.
That whole arresting.
Yes,
in the
it happened. But that was those were the
anything.
factors. Sometimes I don't think this man had an idea of. You know, that's my opinion. let us be honest, side by side, you compare now. He never had statements that were supporting the state. Maybe he did a bit, but it was
would
just
always try to be neutral.
Neutral, yes.
That's something that Maumela, I don't want to lie.
And just when I saw him on the just when I saw just when I saw him at the church, maybe that's the reason why I feel like he was a better option. You know, he had something that he believed in my opinion. You know, there was that thing. You know, there were things that were done. Yes, they would take time, but ibiza nobuntu into yakon. Yes.
And they made him human. They humanized him. They made him look like umuntu onormal.
Aye, bafowethu aye.
More and more. Hi. The heart is very hard.
This man has made us
very resistant. It's like already he's taken a decision. You know, he's giving those vibes. You know, when you go for an interview and you know that they've already picked the person.
I have never seen a person who's a fan of the states like this judge. This judge is a fan of the states. You know, he's a fan of these witnesses that are brought by the states. And I'm yet to see the behavior when it comes to the other ones, when they are bringing their people.
Yeah.
How much are they going to be undermined? Because I can tell you, in my opinion, they will be undermined.
Yes.
Let's take, for example, Brigadier Warrant Officer Makubo. You can tell
he was very cold.
That in that court, the man was very cold. I mean, the judge was very cold.
Well.
He's going to be cold with them. You know,
Buthelezi, when he changed the tune now, was feeling more sympathetic to accused number 2 after he was told that what had happened to him.
There were things that were put as if he was threatened, put by the judge, not by anyone.
After he had left, he doesn't ask him while he's on the stand.
Do you understand? Threatened. And then he puts it when the man is gone.
He puts it when the man is gone to say that he was being threatened. By
We saw. The man created that narrative that this case, people are gonna get killed, forgetting Gucci. You know, I might end up saying things, but in my opinion, everyone who's not here was probably gonna. This is my opinion. Gonna say something opposite to what the state is currently driving.
Yes,
that's my opinion. We can name them. You know. You can name them. Brigadier, is it Brigadier Ndlovu?
Yes, he has passed on.
You can name all those people. You know, you can name them. You hear the history of what is happening in the public space, the papers and everyone. The so-called people that wrote the statements who are not existing, all those people, you know, it seems as if you probably could mirror their statements. It's like they were here to say things that and to show Guti, these people are not people that probably the state would have wanted to see, in my opinion. Their statements are not referred to a lot. If they are, most of them, they are changed. They are not telling us the true reflection of what that statement is saying. Like the Nxashe. I don't think by any means the Nxashe was going to be in support of the intruder. That's me.
He is the one who did say that there was a fight in the house.
Yes.
He's the one who said it. Who said there was a fighting in the house. He's the one who said Togo jumped the wall.
Do you understand? He was gonna come with a proper account of what happened with him. Did he jump the wall on the gate, or did he just jump the wall on the opposite side towards the wind?
And we can also not shy away from the son also testifying and being prohibited from speaking on what his father told him.
And then the father and yet this case is based on hearsay every day. That today it was clear as a daylight for me that this case is all about hearsay. He's asked about who can put accused number 4 in that house or in that place of crime. He talks about the statement of the people who confessed in Ntanzi. He talks, which brings me back to that theory of is it the former defense Utiti saying that at some point, is it to say that at some point it seems as if they would say, actually, give me this this guy Ntanzi. Yeah. So I'm tending to believe that theory more than anything, because this case is basically based on Ntanzi.
Yes.
Because accused number one is actually a person who's taken as a person who lied.
Because even Abo Miss Popola, they came in and they pointed Ntanzi, even after expressing in their statements that they couldn't see the second suspect or the second intruder and what they looked like. But then they targeted him at the court there, and now they could recognize him out of the blue.
Yes.
So it looks like Ntanzi needs to be punished for what we don't know.
We don't know. But, well, if you follow Ntanzi's evidence now as it unfolds and everyone asking questions now and then about it, you can almost tell that Ntanzi never lied about anything.
Mm-mm.
He never lied about anything, in my opinion. And now that begs the question as to who is lying, Ganti. Because there can never be a contradiction of the events on the day of what happened, and then one person is seemingly not lying, and then still the other one seemingly not lying. Somewhere, somehow, someone must be a liar.
Yes.
And obviously, Bontanzi, they don't have an upper hand. They are inside there. Already they are looked at as people who are criminals. No matter how you decide to paint it, that's how they are looked at.
Did you hear him talk about Capitec out of nowhere? And I'm like, when did Ntanzi talk about Capitec? Because in his testimony in the trial within a trial, he was talking about the place with the abandoned ATMs. That place now has moved from being a place with abandoned ATMs to now Capitec. I'm like,
I'm not sure what the Capitec had to do with this thing.
What's the story with Capitec?
Was he talking about the place?
He was supposed to imply the place with the ATMs that were not working. And then all of a sudden, he just drops Capitec out of nowhere. And I'm like,
I'm not sure, but I feel like he was talking about the Capitec of withdrawing and all that.
He was referring to the trial within a trial testimony.
I missed that. But let us hear how it came about, because maybe that's where I'm lost.
Why kukhulumwa ngeCapitec ke manje ke?
Let us hear what happened so that we understand, because I'm lost. I'm fully lost when it comes to Capitec.
Well, before Advocate Nxumalo started with his cross-examination, Advocate Baloyi stood to address, he said he wanted to address logistical arrangements, okay? The interpreter, Ubab Jonas, was not available after lunch. Apparently, he had to go and sit on a shortlisting panel for an interpreter at 2:30. So it seems like
I hope he chooses people who are disciplined and they know their position.
Yes, and also can speak the language. There's this other interpreter that alternates with Ubab Jonas and
I'm referring to him as a person. He seems to have a lot of opinion in most of the time in that court. No, I hope he chooses someone who doesn't have an opinion.
Please.
As neutral as they come.
And who understands their place. They're there to help the court to interpret. Okay, not to be fagazing. No. So he said he couldn't get a replacement, so the court had to sit up until 2:15 in the afternoon. The second thing that he wanted to address was that yesterday Advocate Mnisi put it to Brigadier Gininda that he was not being candid with the court when he answered to the question that the section 205 of accused number 3 for the number 0727668169 covering the period when the offense was committed. He testified that this information, the section 205s for that period covering October 2014, was made available to him fairly recently when this trial was underway. He said, we maintained yesterday yesterday that Advocate Mnisi is mistaken, and we say this with the greatest of respect. We mentioned that this information became available just before Ms. Fine-Tellingem came to testify, and we have had a look at the record. And on the 15th of May 2024, he read where it said, when we adjourned at the previous occasion, we indicated that we have received the call-related data of accused 3, which we then shared with our colleagues. Then Kenal House went and compiled an affidavit arising from the call data of accused number 3, and that morning on the 15th of May, we had finished Kenal House, and then we looked at the emails that were available. He said there were emails that were available between them, the state, as well as Ms. Fine-Tellingem on the 5th of May 2024, wherein they were requesting the call related of accused number 3. Now, I'm thinking to myself as he's busy saying this, I'm like, has he forgotten that there's actually a Section 205 from the Cleveland case? That's the one that Advocate Mnisi, I think, was talking about. That it was given to them before they started with the case.
And to show which there's no genuine behavior in that court, I would say. Baloyi, I could be wrong. Yesterday, he actually admitted that previously, before De Novo, these things were availed. Before the long adjournment or the break, I don't know.
Before the break.
Yes. I remember him saying he was saying that yes, they did disclose. Now he's flowing with that theory that Keninda was elaborating in that court. It surprises me.
Which is also strange.
Because you are supposed now to maintain what you said yesterday.
What are they trying to cover if you think about it? Like, what is it that they're trying to hide? They're trying to not make it become visible, perhaps that was wrong, that should not have happened, and then it happened. Because I'm like... Because
you see what that Section 205 is doing. It is actually saying the cell phone was in Joburg. Meaning... And there are pictures that are accompanying that to say that they took pictures at some point there and there.
Yes.
You know, it sort of puts away accused number 3, which is the main person. So probably they could have seen it and they said, no, let's not take this any further. Let's just leave it here because this one will weaken our case. In a sense that it does not align with a theory that was asserted on that, what we call it, that so-called confession, that there was a call between UCC and accused number 3. That is not appearing.
The call would have been there on that night on the Section 205. It was supposed to be there. You know,
yes, Ultra Star. Thank you. We appreciate you. God bless you.
Thank you, Ultra Star. Thank you.
So that's what is happening. That you see, that Section 205 is a clarity from the mystery that was created on the basis that other ones could not have or could have been talking, but they couldn't find Section 205. But that Section 205, one, it proves that Untanzi and accused number 1 were not talking with accused number 3.
Yes.
Meaning they were not friends.
Yes.
Meaning they don't know each other.
Yes.
The cell phone number Untanzi is not there on that Section 205. The cell phone number accused number 3 is not there on that Section of 205, which solidifies the case accused number 3. So also, 2, there's no Kelly's call.
Yes.
You know.
That call.
3, this Section 205 on the day of an incident does not have a call accused number 5 as the mastermind.
Yes.
You know, it doesn't have a call accused number 5 as the mastermind. So it kills the whole purpose. It kills the everything. This Section 205 was supposed to show us, you know, that okay, at least accused number 3 talk to accused number 5 or to number 3. You know, there is no such. So that Section 205 is not in favor of the states in anyhow.
And I'm also thinking about the phone call according to accused number 3 so-called confession, that phone call was made while they were what? Kutlwanong Street.
Yes.
At the incident of the crime.
Sebefiki.
So if that phone call was made there, then it would have helped the state. It would have given them a strong case. But the problem is it's not there.
That's why, if you look at it, the issue of Kelly Nxumalo having all these many numbers that could be there, it is now kind of creating the situation that he could have used the other numbers that we didn't get to call accused number 5. But with accused number 3, there's a proof. That's a problem. So you can create many theories that you want if you say, we could have lost this number, we could have missed this number, we could have done 1, 2, 3. It sort of makes it easier for you to argue your case on the basis of what do they call it, circumstantial evidence?
Yes.
Could have, should have. Yes, that's what this case is all about.
It is speculation.
Create the mystery, create the narrative, and that's why Ginindi is telling the stories in Ganegwan. That's why he's telling Ganegwan. Because when he was asked point blank, is there any of these people that you have called here, particularly those you have called here, that are placing these people in the house of the Nxumalos? I hear about the hostels, forget about it. For argument's sake, let's say it was there or it was never there.
Yes.
We don't know.
Yes.
But out of that, is there anyone who places? It talks about people who were left in that house. If he says Zung Kwabin is saying yes, they went there, then Zung should have been there.
Yes.
If he says, I think that's the narrative Zung was supposed to come and push, in my opinion. The policeman cannot implicate himself as a person who went there. That's how far they can take it. The person remains in the house.
Yes.
And there are many stories that are said, hey, so and so was called by so and so, and those stories are based on what we hear from those people. There's no proof. So that's what they wanted. The problem with Section 205, accused number 3, is disturbing that process. It is highly disturbing that process.
So that is why this whole, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there's a whole officer who came and testified and spoke on this 205 of accused number 3 from 2015.
Yes.
And he also spoke of how he made the downloads. Okay, there's the downloads coming from the cell phone or the device of accused number 3. Sorry guys, we are being distracted by
it's fine.
fly.
I have covered you because I need to deal with it decisively.
Where's the spray? We need the doom.
You can continue.
I need that spray. Okay, I am so distracted.
Continue.
Monitoring spirit over here, guys. I'm sorry. So the judge asked him to put it on record because Mr. Mnisi says that he gave that information long time ago when he was preparing for the case, meaning before July last year. So Baloyi said that Sibanda, Dr. Sibanda, on the 8th of May 2024, wrote an email to him asking that Fine Telengem should forward the Section 205 of Gadla Mncube, saying that they needed to zoom in on the movements of accused number 3 on the 26th of October 2014. And Baloyi said that in the same email he sent to Pinky Fine Telengem, they were asking for her to share the Section 205 or call-related data of Mncube so that they can scrutinize his movements around the time of the commission of the offense. So literally, in summary, he was using his emails to try and prove that they never had accused number 3 Section 205 from the Cleveland case. That was my interpretation of the situation. So does this not affect the fact that now they will no longer have a link of how they connected accused number 3 except for the confession, is a question that I am having and I would like to pose. That does this not affect the fact that now they will no longer have a link when it comes to accused number 3 except for the confession of accused number 2, in which he speaks of accused number 3? So that is the question I have. Removing this entire section 205 and the fact that you had access to it prior is a problem now. And I remember that the confession is not supposed to be admissible. It must not be admissible to the rest of the accused. So if accused number 2 confessed, this does not mean if he mentioned accused number 3 in the confession, then it means accused number 3 is guilty. So there's a whole denying of evidence and whatever. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know where they are going. I don't know whether they are thinking of how this actually affects their investigation. I don't know. So he then read also the subpoena addressed to Vodacom on the 5th of March 2015. And what was requested was a profile, MSDI SDN profile, RICA ownership information, tower information, IMEI profile, and the billing from the 23rd of October 2014 to the 25th of January 2015. And he said Gininda mentioned that they do not have the information for this period. Now, this to me, it becomes worrisome and troublesome because I remember from hosts, not even host, Stain.
Well, there's something I think that you probably... Why also Ntanzi was the most important person to actually accept the statement or the confession. If Ntanzi accepted that confession in that court, therefore it would implicate all the other accused properly without having problems. So now that Ntanzi is denying that is the one who wrote that, it weakens the case.
That could be part of the reason why there's this anger towards him.
Yes, he should have accepted that, to say yes. And then from there, it's no longer, it cannot implicate the other accused. It becomes, it can implicate everyone.
So can we also say that maybe there is something in the allegation he made where he said he was offered 3 million or 300,000? What was it? 3 million?
I think it was 3 million from what we had.
So something is cooking. Something in the water.
Yes.
Yeah, because he does feel like accused number 2 is heavily being targeted here. And we cannot shy away from it. You know, for me, it became loud when I saw Zandi pointing at him as one of the accused, while in her statement she said she wouldn't even remember what the second intruder looked like. And then all of a sudden now she's weeping and crying in court and trying to convince the masses. That performance, it was not even per se, it was for the judge and the masses to say, I remember him. And I'm like,
Yes, it sort of was
this does not
creating a substitute for what Ntanzi was supposed to do.
And then Tumelo also came in now and did the same thing. Who did he point at to Tumelo? Was it accused number 3 or accused number 2?
I don't remember. I think it's accused number 3.
It was 3?
Yeah.
Okay, he's off the hook for now. But yeah, it did feel like accused number 2, hey, there's anger towards him or something. So he also read the record of Miss Fine Tillingam. I was also mentioning the fact of Stain. You know, Stain in his initial testimony, the one before he came and made corrections and stuff and tried to, that first one, do you guys remember that accused number 3's contact information was there and it was being used? And it was prior to Pinky Fine Tillingam coming with the Section 205. Are we being made to believe that Stain never used the Section 205 from the Cleveland case?
That's what they are saying. He used the downloads.
He used the downloads and waited for Pinky to testify.
Yes.
Ow. Not all of us.
Such an investigation where you are told that there was a communication between the so-called trigger lady and the accused, who's alleged to have shot Senzo. You did not investigate that.
No. There was no investigation in that direction. But now, here we must forget that Steyn had compiled a whole report with accused number 3's cell phone numbers and contacts during the month of October being on that affidavit of his, in the initial one that we heavily scrutinized on this channel, the one that made all these linkages that said accused number 5 contacted Kaylee, the one that said with certainty as well, he was certain when he testified on that.
Oh, we hear you guys. A point of correction. Apparently, Tumelo also pointed accused number 2.
So Dumelo also pointed accused number 2. So there's a target definitely on accused number 2's back.
Witch hunting.
Yeah. It's there. It's there. It's very loud. It's like these people are frustrated with him or what, I don't know, but it just feels so heavily. He is heavily implicated in all of this. So on top of that, I'm now thinking back to Steyn's initial testimony and how he had all the numbers, everything was so organized. And I remember also, I think I even mentioned it, that most of it is heavily reliant on accused number 3's contacts, right? And in section 205 from the Cleveland case.
Yes.
So now we are being made to believe that no, he didn't compile that initial report. And even if he did, now are we supposed, do they think how this affects the already looking dodgy investigation? Are they thinking about it as they are making these useless objections? Because to me, there was no need for this objection to be raised, And he also read the record of Ms. Vaintilengem where it said this satisfies that Vodacom has received a subpoena in terms of section 205 from the SAPS, and the investigating officer is Constable Dlamini. Now, this is a subpoena that Mnisi was referring to, by the way, that is coming from the other case. And he then read the affidavit of Colonel Hose that he had to amend after receiving additional information. The amendment had nothing to do with the section 205 of accused number 3. Ghana, the amendment of Hose was with regards to what? Making the link
answering the accusation.
Yes, and also making the link of accused 3 and Kaylee all of a sudden. It had nothing to do with whether the section 205 of accused number 3 had been initially available or not. So something is not right here. Either or also they are trying to make it seem like they made a mistake with the initial cell phone connection, and now they're trying to clean it up. But this objection, Jay, overall, it just opened a can of worms. And I don't know why.
It just says, it speaks as Mnisi said, there was no investigation done. That's what it says.
Yes. And Baloyi said, we therefore submit,
we
my
picked
lord,
and choose
that the serious assertion that Advocate Mnisi made against Brigadier Gininda was unfounded and unjustified. We submit that the assertion ought to be withdrawn. Mnisi said that if he was the state, he would not be pursuing this line of argument because simply it exposes the inefficiency in the nature of the investigation in this case.
True.
Which is true.
True. It says you went on to check accused number 3's gun after checking it for the first time and then not being able to link this guy. You went to check without checking the cell phone records.
Yes, that's what it says.
On the basis of what Ndanzi allegedly said. And then you went straight to that gun. You made it confess.
Yeah, I should have just let it go. I don't know why he feels the need to be fighting accusations of being a liar and all of that. Above and beyond.
It's belittling. It has power. It's a shift of power. You see, if you are able to make someone apologize while they are still cross-examining, it shows that their cross-examining has flaws, and it makes it look like as if they were not prepared. In fact, belittling them to make them accept the lose that might come or that is inevitable. That's what this has to do with. And the judge now is enforcing
really
it.
That apology.
I like Mrs. Ten.
Hey, he really wanted that apology, was fighting to the nail for that apology.
They wanted to hold him with the scrotum. They wanted to hold him.
Yeah. Well, Nisi continued to say, and I'm going to request that the court listen to me as it listened to the state when they were making their own submission. He said, number one, the reason why I'm saying that is that in 2015, accused number 3's phone gets confiscated. Subsequent to that, they are able to get some downloads from this phone. Same phone that is confiscated in 2015. And in 2020, accused number 3 and the others get arrested. This case has got investigators, a team of investigators that are assisted by the prosecutors. None of those members having it in their mind that, look, because in 2015 accused number 3's phone was confiscated, when we were able to get some downloads in the very same phone which talk about the date of the 26th of October 2015. Let us also check his movements or the movement of his phone on the very same date through this section 205. They don't do that, my lord. Now they want to make a meal out of the fact that I've said something. I've said that information was made available even before the inception of the trial. That is not the point. The point is that it has to do with the quality of the investigation of this case. But as I'm saying, if I was a prosecutor, I would not be pursuing that argument. But nonetheless, as to whether or not that information was received at the inception of the trial or later on through the testimony of Ms. Fine-Tillingham is neither here or there. What is important is what is contained in that section 205, because whether it was made available at the inception of the trial or whether it's made available through the testimony of Ms. Fine-Tillingham, while the matter has already started, I don't think the information would have changed. That is all that this court needs to decide on, whether that information has some kind of relevance insofar as accused number 3's involvement in this case is concerned. All these other issues are just collateral issues, which will actually not assist this court in the determination that this court needs to do. While the judge giggled here, and Baloyi said that Advocate Mnisi cannot run away from the simple fact that he's trying to distract from the real issues he made. This very serious allegation yesterday is not about the investigation at all. Brigadier Gininda testified yesterday that he received Exhibit Triple G1 fairly recently while this trial was underway. And Advocate Mnisi then branded him dishonest. Now we are showing that he's incorrect in that regard. Instead of him accepting that he might have been mistaken, this information was not made available. Then the only information that was made available was the data from the 14th of November 2014. While Brigadier Gininda testified that they did try to get a hold of the core-related data or the coal-related data for accused number 3, that they were only given the correlated data from the 14th of November 2014, and that he said that they submitted proof in this regard. If that is the case, we have not forgotten that Steyn actually testified before Ms. Pinky Fine-Tillingham testified. And Steyn's evidence had dates around the 26th of October 2014. In that section 2, that's affidavit and statement of his. It had those dates for accused number 3. They were there. Yes. So we're just gonna wrap that away from our memory and act like it never took place. You guys waited for Pinky Fine-Tillingham to give you the section 205 so that Steyn could compile his evidence. How? That is what Colonel Steyn based his affidavit on, is what Baloyi said. And then Advocate Mnisi embarked on a journey to his chambers and to find exhibit Triple J1, and he couldn't find it. All we are saying is that it was unfair, it was uncalled for Brigadier Gininda to be called dishonest when all this information indicates that the information was obtained after the 8th of May 2024, and he said that is the crux of the matter. Well, the judge asked Mnisi if he will not admit that he was incorrect. Mnisi said that he was not sure whether he used the word incorrect. Then the judge interjected and was like, you know what? Quickly, he apologized to Gininda. And Mnisi laughed. I laughed too. I was like, what is going on? Is it because of time? Is it because you just wanted to get over and done with? He's the one who took it upon himself to apologize to Gininda. But I'm just happy that Mnisi did not apologize, because there's nothing for him to apologize for here. He was not wrong. He's onto something. He's onto something.
Yes, he is not wrong.
And now they want to create confusion and make him look like he's mistaken when he's not. He's not. Okay. Well, the judge wanted to proceed at this point. Advocate Nxumalo for accused number 4 now started with his cross-examination of Brigadier Gininda, and he started by asking about the warning statements that Gininda had promised to bring to court. Well, Gininda informed him that he was able to find a number of warning statements and had brought them to court. He said he had 8 bundles. He said he got them from the Western Cape, Damaskop and Boysens in the south of Johannesburg, and Annandale also in the south of Johannesburg, and there's another one from Nelspruit. So he's saying that all these police stations that he went around collecting warning statements from, these warning statements look different. They're different in how they are formatted and how their formats are. He's saying they look different.
Did you see how the places normally is places that are far and obvious? Where else can you get it? And then where else in Johannesburg can you find it?
Johannesburg South.
Rahima Mus. What is it? No, not Rahima Mus. What is it called?
It's Johannesburg South and Annandale and Boysen.
You go for Boysen.
And really? Johannesburg South, I think it's considered to be one of those.
Is it gym? What is it? Side of?
Kind of what side is south? Johannesburg South. I know that it's where there's a lot of movement. Lenasia and Lenasia and I think it's there, Johannesburg South. But I'll need to look at Google. Yes, it is. At least there's 2 police stations they can go and compare if the warning statements that he did give are actually the ones that they are using in those 2. Because as for Western Cape, no Nelspruit, but I'm sure if they have resources, they can try their best to reach whether the warning statements that they were given. But something tells me that warning statements are not different.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
There's no way that rules can be different for different warning statements.
No, I totally agree with you. Like, imagine who sits down there and design these warning statements for each
police station. I don't know. So that's what lawyers do. Lawyers will sit down and analyze those warning statements, and then they'll come back with questions that they will pose to him. So Nxumalo also asked him about the standing orders, if he managed to bring them as well. And Gininda said that he spoke to the police services, the legal services who was going to assist them with that. Because once he gets a person who is competent to speak to that division, then he will bring them. So he's looking for somebody in the legal department of the SAPS to assist him to come and testify about these standing orders. So Nxumalo asked that the matter stands down because they have to receive the warning statements. Then the judge said that it should be done in that instance. So there was a moment where
the excitement of the differences. You could tell, this judge it's easy to read. It's easy, very easy to read.
He didn't need an adjournment to give them a moment
because it supports what Gininda is saying. In my opinion.
So yeah, the sorting out took some time. Then the judge said that they will sort them out later because it was taking quite a while. So Nxumalo then started with the arrest of accused number 2. And Gininda said it was in respect of the cases that Sergeant Mokhani was investigating. Nxumalo then said to him that Mokhani did not inform you that on the 17th of June 2020, he had booked out accused number 2 from the Pretoria North Police Station to have an interview at the boardroom. Gininda said that it would not have been necessary. There were cases that Mokhani was assigned to look at. He only brought it to his attention that he was going to the Northwest to follow a certain lead And insofar as this matter, it's when he said that they will meet with him in the Northwest in Carltonville. How? Can't the Carltonville is in the Northwest now? Guys, did I miss something?
Where is it?
Carltonville is not in the Northwest. Is it falling under Northwest, guys? Please correct me if I'm wrong. It's Western area. Right? It's Gauteng. Is it not Gauteng, guys? So now I'm so dizzy. I'm thinking to myself, how? Can't you said you... The thing here is when you make mistakes like this, now I remember and recall Ntanzi's testimony when he was saying that you were there when they were supposed to be returning him to Rustenburg, and then all of a sudden they find ammunition, right? Did he not testify that Brigadier Gininda was there?
He did.
So, Funane Northwest in Carltonville. The Carltonville is in Gauteng, and Northwest is in Northwest. Rustenburg is in Northwest. Carltonville is not in Northwest. It's Gauteng. So I'm very much like perplexed as to what is going on. This talking too much. When I was talking too much, sometimes it makes me feel like, yeah,
it's in West Rand.
It's a Western area, right? It's in Gauteng, right?
Yes.
Gauteng. I'm like, why are you saying Northwest? You did go to the Northwest, ne?
Yeah. Yeah, I did go to Northwest in our opinion.
So, and then also he said for the matters assigned to him, he did not need my permission without reporting to me. Nxumalo then asked him on the 18th of June 2020, accused number 2 was booked out for investigations by Sergeant Mokhane. Then he traveled with the accused to Western area, and Gininda said, yes, I was aware, and that is why I joined them. Or that is where he joined them. After just mentioning dropping Northwest like that in the middle of nowhere. This is the over talking. I'm not talking too much. It can work until it doesn't work.
What do you think Nxumalo was doing here?
I don't know. I don't know what the plan is. I was listening.
So one, he was trying to show that this was never about the so-called other cases. It was about this case of Senzo Meyiwa.
Yes, and he actually achieved
and it started way before. So Mokhane investigating, how did then all of a sudden the issue of Gininda popped in? You know, and all of a sudden Mokhane books alone, as Gininda says, on the 17th, books this guy out, books him out to have an investigation or have an interview, and Gininda disputes that he was there. But on the 18th, he's called to come
out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere. For what reason? Because Mokhane was not investigating the Senzo case. Why was all of a sudden this sudden call of Gininda come be with us? Why? You look at this thing this way. It's not like accused number 2 was admitting to any of those so-called cadre cases. Why would he selectively admit to Senzo Meyiwa's case compared to all other cases that he was being investigated for?
Yes, Pella, this one is actually murder, while the other ones are like ammunition, possession of illegal firearms.
Just
why would he choose
denying
this one
all other cases? The Nongoma case denied, and then this one, he says, "Yeah, see this one, I'll tell you what happened."
And this one is murder. It's more time.
Not even the Nongoma one, isn't it? Murder.
But there it was ammunition and possession of illegal firearms.
They including aren't they including the Nongoma case that is non-existing, in my opinion.
It was the one for Qiniselani
Hey,
Buthelezi.
hey.
But then there's a conviction. Qiniselani was convicted.
Yeah, but according to them, it's still alive. They are a cold case, Bonapela. They resuscitate everything.
But how do you resuscitate when there has been a conviction? When there's so many other cases with not even a day in court? Isn't cold case supposed to be for cases that never made it to trial?
No, look, beside that, that's beside the point for now because we have discussed that. I'm just worried about how the events of that day happened. From you being investigated for other cases and then you confess. You never mentioned those cases. The confession is not such that yes, I was with Kwenselani Buthelezi. Kunanye case futhi engayenzayo. I did another one with Mnxumalo and what, you know, it's not flowing. The person just jumped. Senzo Meyiwa.
And Yena, he's been consistent, accused number 2, that this is the case that they wanted him for. He even said that he received a phone call prior to the police coming to arrest him. That there was a phone call he received like 2 days prior or something that was asking him about Senzo Meyiwa's case.
And it was never read in court.
No. Well, they have the call records.
It was never read in court. That's how that court operates.
So he was saying that it feels like his version is more the one that is making sense considering the activities that were happening. Because we still don't have a complete point or a complete picture of how Mokhane got to call Gininda in the first place while he was investigating a totally different case.
Do you understand?
It's not flowing.
There is no flow of how that all of a sudden required Gininda. Yes, it's saying, hey, anything that had to do with case 636, obvious I would be there. But how did it happen?
636, he was doing the Nongoma case.
Unless you told him to ask this guy about this case.
But he doesn't want to admit it. And Mokhane also, I don't think he admitted it as well. I don't know what his story was.
Mokhane is the one who first told us on the 17 years Gininda was there and then changed.
Then he changed after the adjournment. He came back and said, no, he wasn't. Yeah, these people.
He aligned with Ntanz and then he changed.
Hey, these people. Hey, it's a lot.
He came back the following day. I was like, no, I made a mistake. Correction.
After they asked him for like a good 2-3 times. Said, yes, Brigadier Gininda was there.
Yes.
Yes, he was there.
Keep on making the mistake. And then later you come back after you had a tea. Nkandla tea.
Well, Nxumalo said that when he informed you that he was going to Western area in the company of the accused, where were you? And Gininda said that he was in Gauteng.
I like how he answers that question. I like how he answers that. And he even adds, and we are talking about the lapse of couple of years here, less than what Ntanzi and the others had to go through and remember. And they were called liars. You cannot remember where you were.
Yes. And then for not remembering where he was on the 26th of October 2014, Gidli, he's a murderer.
He's a murderer.
That is what the investigation, the caliber of investigation is on Kibo Brigadier Gininda.
Should we say you were there? In fact, according to how things are, you were there maybe.
Yeah, I believe that.
There was no such call.
There. I believe it now because of these minor details that are happening.
Why don't we tap on these phones of theirs and do section 205? Hey, but hey, next thing to Tola, I must be dial cool. Yeah, because to prove his theory, Mokhane calls me.
It belongs to the state. Maybe it's about Hakiri Abafunama body cam. The body cams are not nowhere near.
It was Mangena, not Mokhane.
No, Mangena passed on. Never came to testify. He's the one that passed on. That used to work with
now I know
Mokhane.
that.
It's Mokhane.
Mokhane is the one.
Mokhane is the one who came to testify. Mabena passed away.
He's the one that they are talking about who was investigating accused number 2.
Yes, he was with Mabena during that time, but Mabena passed away. He didn't make it to the trial. Gininda responded that he was in Gauteng, perhaps even here in Pretoria. I just may not recall where, but I was not in that province. Then Nxumalo asked him, besides telling Sergeant Mokhane after he had informed you that he was heading to Western area with the accused, what did you say to him? Gininda said that he would not be able to recall that. Guys, I'm trying to summarize those long answers. I can't. I'm tired.
Subsequently.
Well, Nxumalo then said Sergeant Mokhane said you wanted to also interview accused too, and Gininda said he does not remember the exact words, but the agreement was that they would meet in Western area with accused too. Nxumalo asked him, he also said that you wanted to interview the accused, and Gininda said he also said that his interest was insofar as these accused was in relation to this matter. So naturally, when you engage them, it will be in a formal engagement. He does not recall what words were used, but there was an understanding that they will meet in Carltonville. I don't want to lie to you. This does not make sense. A formal engagement that led you to go to Carltonville. So you are telling us that you don't want to disclose the conversation you had with Mokhane over the phone as to how you ended up going to Carltonville. What was it saying? What were the details? You don't want to say it. You will speak of formal engagements. And he said that he does not remember the exact.
No, guys,
wording.
I think let me correct this. Yeah, we people are confused. Gininda is not denied only with accused number 2 that he was there. The other accused. Now, with regards to what you guys are talking about, who's this?
Mabena.
This
Mokhane.
ballistic expert.
Oh, Mangena.
He also denied that he was there. Is it accused number 3 or number 4?
Accused number 3 pertaining to
the test Mangena going and checking if there are wounds and all those things. There is an accused that he denied also that he was there.
Isn't it accused number 2?
No, man, I'm talking about the ballistic expert who was going around and seeing the other accused.
I do remember the story behind the testing of the food that they were looking at. They were asking them to take their shoes off and stuff like that.
Yes, there's one. I think it's accused number 4, if I'm not mistaken, where he said he was not there.
Oh, okay. I don't remember though, but yeah.
So people are confusing that with this one, where he said Mangena was there. Gininda was there, and then came back later and said he was not there.
No,
they are saying it's
Mokhane.
They are saying it's Mangena.
We're not talking about Mangena. We're talking about Mokhane. Mokhane testified with regards to this body.
So someone is saying Mangena, the ballistic was not there with accused number 1, accused number 2.
Oh, so they are saying that Mangena is the one who came back and changed their testimony after the short adjournment in relation to the boardroom. So Mangena was testifying on accused number 2 and the boardroom.
Guys, you guys are confused.
Guys, you're confusing us.
That's why I'm reminding you.
What are you talking about?
There are 2 people. There are 2 incidents where Gininda denies he was with those people at that time. It's with accused number 2 on the 17th of June.
Yes.
And then he denied that between the top 3, which is accused number 3 and accused number 4 and 5, there is one where he said he was not there. So it might confuse you.
And also recall that Mokhani testified, I think, twice. First in
Yes.
the trial, within a trial, and
Yes.
then he came again to testify
Yes.
in the main trial, just before Bogininda and everyone else came to testify. Mangena, I don't recall so much about him discussing the boardroom.
There was that issue, not the boardroom, the checking.
Oh, the checking.
I think it's accused number. I think it's Maphisa who said Gininda was there. And he said, no, I was not there. So that's the confusion where it's coming from.
Okay, because even accused.
And that is something that happened recent with Mangena.
Yes, accused who did not mention that Mangena was there in the boardroom. He would have mentioned it if he
Yes, he would have mentioned it.
So he said that he does not remember the exact wording, but there would have been an engagement with accused number 2. Nxumalo then referred Gininda to his affidavit, which he made on the 15th of October 2023. Now, this was 3 years later, after the incident of them arresting accused number 2 on the 16th of June 2020. When they were getting arrested. So he waited 3 years before making a statement about what had occurred.
Let me tell you why is the warning statement important. A warning statement in South Africa is a statement completed by the accused person at the South African Police Service, SAPS, station after being contacted by the investigating officer. The statement includes a space for accused to provide their version of events.
Yes.
So that's why these things are not there.
And you do feel it in when you do get interrogated by the police. It's there. They do put it there on the table. So I don't understand why Brigadier Gininda did not want to go to the police station and sit down with accused number 2 and fill in that warning statement. I don't understand. I don't get it. He's telling us about prosecutors. The prosecutor, he can guy.
I'm leaving you. Go back to the evidence. It's gonna be difficult for me to to argue, but I know for sure that there are 2 instances where Gininda said he was not there.
Yes,
it's not
he has
one
denied being in the boardroom.
And then he also denied being with the other accused when they were being checked whether they were injured.
Yes.
One of them, he says he said he was not there.
So I'm speaking on this 3 years gap before he makes a statement about what was happening while he was prior to accused number 3 making the alleged confessions, right? So Nxumalo referred him to the part in the affidavit where Gininda said that he went to accused number 2 in Western area to interview him.
Now, this is where the warning statement was supposed to be finished.
And you were supposed to be doing it at a police station.
So that this person can say, I choose not to answer your question, or I answer your question. Such things.
With an interpreter if he can hear him properly.
But because it was hush, they answer questions, they confess, then after confessing, here comes the warning statement. And Gininda is saying that actually that's a habit.
In the parking. And he's saying it's a norm. Everyone does it.
He's justifying it.
Every police officer does it. He's speaking, generalizing for every police officer that is how they do their work. He's even comparing to police officers that make arrests on the streets and then they interview the people and then they take them to the cells. But guess what? When they arrive at the police station, they have to fill in the warning statement. They put them in some room with a table, and that is what happens from then on. That was what's happened. Even if they arrested them in the street, that's what they end up. You end up in that room where you now have to answer questions with a police officer and fill in that form.
Yes.
So I don't know. Like, I'm not a police officer, guys. I'm not. And I'm not clued up into police officer things. But this doesn't sound right. What he's saying, it sounds like, it's a lie. And we're trying to be decorumly decorumly address this, but no.
Hey, this guy, he's a commander, station commander. He's everything. I wanna get starting in the man. I get starting.
And he's
did you hear that answer of station commander? But continue. It was I am, but I'm not. I'm not saying I am. You know that those type of answers. I am. It could happen that you get out and you someone pours you with cold water, but I'm not saying someone poured me with cold water, but I could have been poured with cold water. That's basically how the station commander answer I interpreted it. I could have been the commander because at the time I was getting instructions from let's continue.
I have never ever in my life of watching court cases, of being in some of the court cases, ever heard someone as evasive as this. How about an evasive witness? Hi. Brigadier Gininda takes the cup, Shem. Hi. Uhamba phezulu, uhamba yedwa.
Yeah, let's continue.
Well, Nxumalo said the words interview do appear in the affidavit, and Gininda said, yes, I was going there to engage with accused number 2. There's no dispute there. The question was asked by Mnisi in relation to what he told Mokhani. Gininda said the interview took place in Carltonville in the parking lot, the security area, and he said that he had parked near the mine. You know, and he said it was a walking distance from the mine to where he had parked. So Nxumalo said the interview took place in the vehicle or what? And Gininda said that he does not understand the term interview.
He's the one who brought it.
He's the one who wrote it in his statement, by the way.
But he does not understand it. Subsequently to that, there's a lack of understanding.
And he said it should not constitute to that you were sitting down and writing. He said an interview does not mean that you are sitting down and writing.
Okay.
Nah, the good old-fashioned policing. I used to see police walking with notebooks, nyana. Everything you say, they would be putting it in that notebook. Even Teta, he was a constable at the time, and I remember him mentioning that he had a notebook that he was writing in while he was busy attending to the crime scene, and he was being sent to the park and back and whatnot. Do you remember that, guys? He said
I remember that.
He had that pocket book where he was writing down stuff, but of course, it could not be brought up. It got destroyed. Yeah. But it could have been handy, that pocket book, okay? It could have assisted a lot, but somehow it grew legs. So I'm like, how can you as a police officer
yes, you see,
not want to document? Why don't you want to write down while you're interviewing people? Why don't you want to follow the process? Why do you want to freestyle stuff? These are people's lives here, and you just want to freestyle. What is going on? Why do you just want to freestyle and just have frank conversations? And fine, you were in the middle of the road in the parking lot, you couldn't write down. But why not go to the police station afterwards and do the proper stuff? Like, why? Why? We are confession.
Yeah, let's continue, man. Let's continue.
He said, but it is not the type of interview that you sit down with someone and you write notes or write a warning statement. He said, my engagement with him was formal. My engagement with him was on a formal basis. There was nothing formal about this, okay? There was nothing formal about this. Formal means that you sit down and you write. That's a formal engagement. This one was informal. It was an informal one. So Nxumalo then said, you formulated it in your mind. You know that when you met with accused number 2, you're going to interview him. And Gininda said that he formulated in his mind that he will be engaging. When you engage, it's not a formality.
You changed the word interview to engage.
Yes. He said it was at the beginning. He said he went there with an objective mind. It doesn't sound like it, in my opinion, as geese.
You are called for the case that you're investigating. You go there with an objective mind. You leave everything that you require.
Yes. So he kept saying it was a formal and they spoke on a formal basis. And you know what the funny thing is as well, even in the trial within a trial, he expects the people to believe that he introduced himself and even read the accused's rights in this informal engagement or formal engagement, whatever he calls it. And Nxumalo asked him if he made a statement on that day or the day after, and Gininda said he did a summary of what happened in his diary.
And it's not there.
He did present his diary at some point. It's there, so it's the exhibit.
Oh, the new one. Oh, yeah, no, I don't mean that. I mean the diary that came in.
So instead of going to the police station, sitting down with accused number 2 and having a formal warning statement filling process and interviewing him formally, like how you are supposed to do as a police officer, you write stuff in your diary. You write that, okay, in your diary.
This is where the robustness of Ramsibili was supposed to come in. These are things that Ramsibili could have poked the holes on, and ending these questions to such as Sis was putting it. It's because the reason why we didn't have warning statement during that day is because this was a one-sided conversation. Because you wanted Tanzi to accept
to something
what you wrote.
Yes. To just admit the crime that he may or may have not committed. You didn't care. You just wanted what you wanted from him.
Those are the things that you expect from a lawyer that is defending someone who's accused of killing someone. But it's
never
good.
Too late. He must highlight this.
It's good that other defense lawyers are coming in and they are sort of focusing. Most of their focal point is accused number 3.
Well, Gininda said that he did a summary of what happened in his diary, and he said in his statements, but before he could finish, Nxumalo interjected to remind him of the fact that his statement was in October 2023. Gininda said that he was asked by the state advocate. That's Advocate Baloyi.
I like it when they do that.
At the behest of the defense.
They must highlight, because we want to see who is who in the zoo. I'm always gonna say that. That's all. Who is who in the zoo? And kancane uyavela. Kancane uyavela who's who in the zoo.
So he was saying that the state advocate, at the behest of the defense, that certain aspects of what transpired in relation of accused number 2 must be explained. He said that at some point he was told that he said he was taken to Capitec Bank. This is the part I was talking about earlier on, where he's now mentioning that he said that he was taken to Capitec Bank. I don't know what. I feel like this. He's telling on himself, because Capitec guy in the whole thing that transpired. Where does Capitec Bank enter? Because in the trial within a trial, I do not recall Tanzi talking about it.
Wait, Emily, the people were right here. I think it's Mabena who talked about accused number.
Mangena.
Is it Mangena?
The ballistic expert.
Yes, who was measuring dance.
So he was there at the bottom.
He's the one, because Muhammad denied that Gininda was there.
Oh yes.
And then Mangena
came in
with the measurement. He came in.
The memo.
Yeah, I get you guys. Thank you for that.
It was Mangena. He had to go and measure accused number 2. Okay.
It was Mangena.
All right.
Who made a plan.
And then said that Brigadier Gininda was there in the boardroom while he was, which is fair, because every time he went to take the measurements of the accused, Brigadier Gininda was
consistently there.
Yes.
But not with accused number 2.
Not with accused number 2.
Yes.
So with accused number 2, he was not there. And then he came back after the adjournment.
Yes,
said, no,
mate, you were
he was not
right.
there.
It was Mangena. Mangena, yes, you are right.
Yes, we accept corrections.
We
here
accept
of
that. We accept
reality.
that. Because
When
now
we are
I'm
wrong and
busy trying to
misled.
play this thing around in my head. It was Mangena.
And I don't remember.
After the refusal from the other side. And then Mangena barged in without noticing that he was actually throwing people under the bus. He came back, flipped. No, whoa. He was not there. I don't know where he was. He was around the campus or something like that.
He said he wasn't there.
He said he was not there in the
He was not there
same
at all.
boardroom.
He said he was not there at the police station, Pretoria North.
Did he say that? Okay.
He said he was not there.
Yeah, but it's
Because
something
that's
like
where what they wanted to find out. They wanted to know if even if he was in the vicinity. He said he was not there. He corrected himself after that adjournment. I think it was a short adjournment. So yeah, he said that he made the statement to respond to the request that was made by the defense. So it never crossed his mind before he took accused number 2 to confess that he should charge him first and make him fill in a warning statement and also write a statement as to what happened prior to the confessions being done. He only did it after Advocate Baloyi now felt cornered in the trial within a trial that the defense once was so and so. They want the state. Now you think, oh, I need to write a statement 3 years later. So Advocate Baloyi must be the one to tell you how to do your job. Is that what's happening here? So asked if he was aware of the interview with the suspect, Gininda said no, he dealt with this part with Advocate Mnisi. He even revealed to us that Advocate Nxumalo was a prosecutor before, and Nxumalo said that he had been a prosecutor for a long time. That's interesting. That's interesting.
Why, Nxumalo?
Why though? Why do you always wanna?
I'm gonna speculate. It has to do maybe with the jurisdiction.
Oh, the
maybe the man is entering this market of Gauteng. So there are things probably that maybe could not have been in order.
So Miss Popola mayedelela laphayana elokho ethi, hey, angisumfazi wakho, you're talking to a prosecutor. She was speaking to a prosecutor. I think she went in with undermining Nxumalo, thinking that he was young and what. Someone who had been a prosecutor for a very long time. And you were busy saying, I'm not your wife. I'm sumfazi wakho mina. Do you guys remember that whole dramatic incident? I think that's what made Nxumalo's rhythm also. It affected it. It kind of made it change because he was robust. You know, he was robust.
I thought he had I almost said, you know when you feel you're too smart because you're going with a gang that looks smart.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of that gang.
Yeah.
And you think, yeah, we are vying here. We are talking a CIA level. You know, you feel like, yeah, I want a match.
You were
can't
talking
touch
to
this.
a prosecutor who had been one for a very long time.
That's how it. And then, quickly, when he reach home, he's watching TV. Like, hey, your sister Pella, now getting that busy now. It's like, oh, no, we're still gonna talk about her saying that not this cooked evidence. It's funny, and I'm gonna say this. It's funny how you believe it is cooked when it comes to your sister, but it's not cooked when it comes to this accused. But let me leave that for now. It's very funny that when it points at you, when the other finger points at you, you're like, hey, not this cooked thing. Let me, it's cooked when it's going the other way. It's not cooked when it's going the other way. But once it hits home,
it's
cooked. This is cooked.
It's only dawning on her now.
Just realize. I just realized that I've been screwed.
Oh my God, but yeah, we'll cover it in another video when we get the chance, you guys. We have to talk about it. So when a person has been prepared to go to court, you then complete that. That was what Brigadier Gininda said, that you prepare the warning statement before the person goes to court.
Thank you, we appreciate it.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you. Thank you so much. And then now I'm like, whoa, is this how it works? He's saying that you need to fill in the warning statement before the accused goes to court. Not when every time you interview them. So the rules are different with Brigadier Gininda, apparently. So he said he has never met a police officer who during the course of an investigation makes the suspect fill in a warning statement. Haibo. And he said that that is not how it's done. He said the directive comes from the NPA before they make a suspect fill in a warning form.
I think there he was trying to say there are true criteria. The one that is directed by the NPA, it requires an NPA to give a directive. I feel like he was trying to say that. And then there's the other one that jumps through straight. Yes.
Oh.
I don't know. Maudwan, we appreciate you. Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you. So he compared himself to the police in uniform who make arrests on the scene.
He reduced the other ones to just mere police in uniform. He's the commander.
He's the boss.
He can take it to that level of signing everything for himself. It's very interesting how this man can adjust with the situation. It's starring.
Yeah, it's starring.
Like he's starring some movie. It's like he's in, like Phantom.
Yeah, Agafi.
Phantom Agafi. Phantom will face snakes and all these things. Never. He will catch the head. That's how it feels.
Movies are starring in all of them.
What change? It reminds me this series. What is it called? The one that I used to enjoy. The Black what?
I don't know.
The guy with the hat. The guy with the hat who always has a solution for everything.
Oh, I think I know the series you're talking about. Can I get Black Hat or something like that? What is it called?
Something like that. But yeah, the guy who always has a solution for every situation.
Guys, I'm sure you know this series. A lot of people like it. It's about that guy I think he's a CIA or something like that.
He's a spy in a sense, CIA, but he's also dealing with his stuff there.
It's been a while.
Yeah, but
I remember it was a popular series. Well, he said during his investigation, there was no directive from the NPA that he needed to go and interview accused number 2. It was during the course of the investigation. So Nxumalo read 835, and it's an instruction that was written on the warning form that he had. And he's read it, and where he read it said this form must be completed every time a suspect is questioned, irrespective of whether the suspect is in detention after an arrest or not. That's what the form says, and that's what was written on the form. Gininda said that it was not disclosed to him, and he said you need to look at the complete picture.
Oh, it's a blacklist, Emily.
Blacklist.
Yes.
Not it's a black hat. Because I remember the
They're
hat.
thinking about the head of the one
Blacklist,
that had
yes,
the 2% DNA.
The series Blacklist. Yes.
We should also write our series once this case is done.
Yeah, once
the 2%. The 2% DNA. That
Yes.
would be the nice one. 2% DNA.
No, it will be various different types of series within one series. It will be very interesting. I'm telling you guys.
It will be very nice.
Hop on. Let your creative juices flow. Because
if you have cameras and everything, it will you would create the best out of this case of
there's
series.
Multiple
You just change the names.
in this trial alone.
You create your own ready.
It's a lot. A lot is going on. A lot is going on in this trial. So 835 was completed on the 30th of October when Mr. Mbata was arrested. This is Zamoguhle Mbata, the initial arrest that was done in 2014. Then the judge asked him when was he appointed, and Gininda said he was appointed 4 years later. Now this judge was coming in trying to save, I don't know what he was saving, but he was trying to really have Nxumalo move away from the warning statement of Zamoguhle Mbata. He wanted the judge told Nxumalo
because
that
it creates that cloud around the case. We are not sure. We are just fishing. Zamoguhle Mbata is what no one wants to remember in terms as far as the police are concerned.
Yeah. Well, but at least they were giving honorary in letting Zamoguhle go.
Were the police honorary, or it was the judge?
The judge for saying there's no case against this person, but at least they let him go. Can you imagine had they really made him go through that? Like,
what do you think happened to him? What do you think happened to him? He hasn't told the story of what happened to him.
Yeah, he hasn't told the full story of what happened to him.
Because from where I stand, what was happening to him is not something that was not thought of. It just didn't land.
It didn't land.
It's a miss. It's a mistrial.
Well,
this one, if it's not gonna land, you find someone who's gonna make it land. In my opinion. You see this one? It was not gonna land. Poorly done, if you ask me. But let us find someone who can make it land.
Well, Nxumalo said that it was in relation to the different warning statements, while the judge said that he was not involved in there. Okay, it was somebody else who was involved.
What about Cleveland case?
What about Cleveland case? Because
you are interested in it. You enjoy it. You even brought it by... You pulled it when someone was trying to pull out Mnisi. You pulled it, and you also wanted to know if he was found guilty. You were asking questions. You were interested.
And the thing about Zamoguhle Mbata, its relation with this case, it's very much this case. It's not a different case. It's this case.
Yes, the one we're dealing with, the one that's from De Novo, and back again.
So Gininda still defended his filling in of the warning statements and said that Mbata's warning statement was done when they were preparing him for court. He also used the Cleveland case as an example, saying that there was engagement with the accused when they found the firearm. No warning statement was completed. The warning statement was completed a day after, but Oksala, they completed it while... When on the other hand, you decided to go fetch confessions allegedly and make them fill in a warning statement. But they born the following day, after they had given accused number 3 some time to rest, they got him the following day to sit down and fill in that warning statement.
Hi guys, let us tap the screen. Tap. But you just press like before you tap the screen. Just press that like once. Don't press it twice, because you unpress. Press that like button once, and then you tap it like TikTok. Tap. You can tap as much as you want, but for now, all we are asking for is just press that like button. We are here. Just once, it should be black, and then you leave it like that. And then you can tap your screen.
Well, Nxumalo interjected because Gininda now was rambling, and then the judge shouted at Nxumalo, forcing him to listen to Gininda's explanation. Okay, he said that he's still speaking. Let him explain, because now he wants to touch on another example, because you're asking him about an arrest which happened in 2014. He was not in the picture. They just looked irritated at Nxumalo, you know. Yeah. And I'm thinking to myself, Nxumalo, don't let him get to you. Don't do it. Don't let him get to you. That's my secret prayer. Don't let him get into your head. Continue. You know the thing about Nxumalo, he's good with paperwork. He's good with finding stuff that you just never, could. He's good. But then every time he reaches a climax, they punch. They want to slow him down. They want to slow him down. What's the purpose of letting Gininda explain when whatever his explanation is not even answering the question? Well, he said also with accused number 5, the warning statement was filled in preparation to court. I don't know which warning statement he was talking to with relation to accused number 5. Was he talking about Warrant Officer Makubo's case against accused number 5, or was he talking about his own arresting of accused number 5 while he was inside the jail? I don't know which one he was talking about. So Nxumalo said that in this matter, the warning statement in respect to accused number 2 was only obtained on the 26th of July 2020, and he appeared in court on the 27th of October 2020, and Gininda said he can confirm that. And asked who should be the station commander, Gininda said that the station commanders are not detectives. They run the station, they are busy with uniform members. The defense there.
They're just a uniform member.
They are just the uniform members.
Yes.
And the difference there is the branch commander. Even the branch commander will carry dockets, but the delegation goes to the detectives. Those powers are delegated to the detectives on the ground. So Nxumalo asked him, is it correct that on the 6th of July 2020 you interviewed my client at Louis Gop in respect of this form? And Gininda said yes, that's correct. Was he a suspect? Gininda said yes. In respect of this, it was you in consultation with the prosecutor. Gininda said yes, it was prosecutorial driven. And Nxumalo asked him on the 19th of June 2020, accused number 2 appeared before Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu for a confession statement. On the 24th of June 2020, he appeared before Magistrate Grenier for a confession. And Gininda said yes. Nxumalo said, do you confirm that he did not appear before any court after that? And Gininda did not agree. He said that there were appearances in relation to other matters, but in this matter, it was on the 27th of October 2020. Then Nxumalo asked him, my question was in relation to this case. And Gininda said, yes, in relation to this case, he appeared on the 27th of October 2020.
Thank you.
Nxumalo then said the reason why he did not appear in court is because you were still going to conduct some investigations. And Gininda said yes, they were doing investigations in terms of the correlation. And Nxumalo asked him, you agree that a confession can only be used against a deponent? Advocate Baloyi interjected here, saying that it was a legal point with relevant case laws and cannot be put to a witness. Nxumalo said that the witness has already said that he understood, and is there evidence that points to the effect that another intruder entered after he said intruders left the house? Gininda said none of the witnesses say that. Then Nxumalo asked him, is there evidence from the neighbors who wrote statements that there was another intruder who was standing outside? Gininda said, yes, you do have a witness like Makeleni who saw more than
Now, this is where we answer a question that is not asked and make it sound proper and the proper answer subsequently to that.
Yes. Well, Nxumalo said, maybe I should rephrase. Is there evidence that says that there was another intruder who was standing outside? Well, Gininda said yes. Again, Makeleni's statement says that he saw 2 people standing outside next to the transformer, and he later saw them out of Makumalo's house, and this is corroborated by Ntabiseng. Then Nxumalo said, we are not together. Makeleni speaks about the 2 people standing outside. Gininda said, I'm saying he saw people standing outside. The number he gives is more than 2. He then tells Ms. Steenkamp that he saw 3 people running out of the Khumalo home. One had a firearm. Nxumalo said, my question was in relation to whether there is a statement that says there was a person standing within the premises of the Nxumalos when the incident was happening. Pela, Nxumalo is asking about his client here.
It's very specific.
He's very specific. Yeah, so Gininda is not getting it for some. Gininda.
So he decided to answer
back.
his own stuff.
Yes, he said he decided to come back to this because he wants to check the statements of other witnesses who indicated that they saw people. He said that he wanted to have a look at the statement of Ngache Senior and see what that statement said about what he saw.
He
so
couldn't have said that. The Ngache one, it's a wrong one to pick. It's a wrong one to pick. Now, I wish you brought that statement in. I wish.
After the short adjournment, Nxumalo asked him if he found anything. Gininda said that Ngache does not say anything to this effect, but another statement.
He would never have said that.
By Bongenkosi Nkabinde.
Here we go. Partner in crime.
Who's Bongenkosi Nkabinde now?
You remember there were two guys apparently that were to me just my head just went straight to that. There were two guys that passed away, right?
Isn't that Simpure, they said he was still alive. Is Simpure alive?
There were two guys. There were two guys apparently who were studying, and the other one died mysteriously, and the other one also died. Both of those guys, they're all gone. I think this is the one. I'm thinking. That's my thinking.
Well, Bongenkosi Nkabinde Kutiwa, they said that they saw two people outside Kelly's mother's house. One of them was on the phone and the other one was sitting down. Nxumalo then said, you confirmed that my client was not identified by the neighbors or anyone.
Good one, bruh. Good one. Good one.
When you feel like your lawyer has done a great job.
Good one.
And then on another occasion, I saw that in the court, accused number 4 was talking, he was relaxed. That's when you know that your lawyer is doing the things. Well, Gininda said yes, but that question should be explored further. None of the people identified any of the suspects during my investigations. It is the investigation that uncovered who they were. Nxumalo then said, when you put the confession aside, is there evidence that says my client was there when the offense was committed? Gininda said yes. Constable Zungu for one. Constable Zungu was
talking about the hostel.
Incident or the crime
I like
scene.
how he probed that and clarified that mystery that was trying to cloud the client.
Well, Nxumalo said, sorry to disrupt you, but is there evidence on record? And Gininda said, but my lord, I was not sitting in court. I can only refer to the evidence linking accused 2 to this case, accused number 4 to this case. And then Nxumalo asked him, is there any other evidence on record that places him at the scene when the incident occurred? And Gininda said, like I said, I was not in the court even when Zungu took place, but I can refer to evidence uncovered during investigations. Nxumalo said, you also testify that the planning of this incident took place at Basuto Hostel. And Gininda said, yes. Nxumalo asked him, where did you get this information besides the confession? And Gininda said, but that assertion came after the confession, so you cannot distance it. Subsequent to that, you get statements
you must
of
marry them.
Zungu.
Hey, I'm tired of that thing. There are few terms that I'm gonna stop using. You must marry them subsequently, insofar as and what else? Collaboration. Yeah, I'm done with them for this year. Until next year.
Then he said, Sfiso Zungu, Spiwe Butelezi, Makosonke. Prior to that, they did not know about the hostel. And Nxumalo asked him, besides the confession statement, is there a statement from the witness that says I was there and I heard what was discussed? Gininda said, what you have is the statement that places them at the hostel, and then the statement of Sipio Butelezi, who indicates that accused 4 and 3 told him about their involvement in this matter. Nxumalo then said, so your final answer is that there's no witness who was with the accused when the planning of this incident took place. Gininda said, no, my lord, there are witnesses that saw him at the hostel, and there are also witnesses that say they were told by, for example, accused 4 about their involvement. You simply have to read the statement of Gwabini's Fiso Zungu
Hey
about
Gwabini.
what happened.
Hey Gwabini kazukuphi. Kazukuphi Gwabini. Ngiyafisa qhamuke sengena ngevosho kuleya court. Hey, yabona unyaka 2025 ngabe uvalile for mina. If engaqhamuka nje sengena ngevosho, eqhamuke ne-defense from the defense's side. Engene ngevosho.
You
Awubakithi.
can only wish.
Hey, Nkosi
You
yami.
can only wish, but hey,
Avela ngene ngevosho. Athi what?
may he be safe.
What were you saying about me? I never said that. Verbatim. Ati nje. No. Furthermore, ati no. Subsequently, ati no.
We can only hope and pray and wish. But yeah, I can't Gwabini ulthwele dombolo. There's a lot happening.
But it's not there. How can a witness of this significance that he keeps on,
Not come to testify.
he does not come to testify? I
Kusele kancane ukuthi bambuze ukuthi uphi
hey,
where is this witness?
uyakhulunyelwa. Idlozi uyathethwa kuthiwa uGwabini baba
But
Gwabini.
if you've commissioned a statement, you can testify on behalf of the person.
Ugwabi, a most crucial witness ever.
It's not.
You know, the most crucial witness ever. Ukona, he's here, right?
Yes.
He's not dead. No, he's here within the ranges of South Africa. Here, just here, breathing the same air with us,
Not
sleeping at the
going
right
to
time as we
Pretoria
sleep.
High Court to
But it's
testify.
not in Pretoria. Uyakhulunyelwa ngathi idlozi. Baba Gwabini wathi uGwabini wathi. uGwabini.
No, Absalom.
No, Absalom. Bonke bayakhulunyelwa. They are ancestors, but they are still alive.
Yeah, I said.
Absalom ukhulunyelwa ingane yakhe.
Yes. He said, you have to read that in order to understand what I am saying. His involvement is about what happened when they were at the hostel. And Nxumalo said, I have the statement, but I'm not prepared to leave it because you are not answering my question. Gininda said, perhaps we need to read this statement of Fiso Zungu. He is not a stranger.
Look, they want to bring him. They are dragging him wherever they are dragging. I'm sure he's even feeling it. But they are dragging me. There's something dragging me somewhere.
He is related to the people in this matter. So
why
wants
don't
to
we have
read.
him to come and
Yes.
say, I am
He
related
wants
to these people?
read it on his behalf, put the statement of Fiso Zungu on record without him coming to testify. He's trying. He's pushing for that.
Ngathi inyamazana ebalekile uGwabini. Uyabona inyamazana uyibamba or fish.
Yeah.
Ubambe emanzini.
So
Uvela uphelele ezandleni. Uthi usathi usawumarinate ukuthi
Slips and
I'm still
goes
gonna
back
cut
into
it
the
and
water.
put it on you're still thinking of how you're gonna eat it, and then it just slips on your fingers.
and then it jumps back into
Then
the
you're
water.
gonna be talking at home. Hey, I caught a
I
big
had this
fish.
big
I
fish."
caught a big fish, but no, you are lying. That's how Gwabini is.
And then he said he's related to the people that are in this matter, even Constable Zungu. There were interactions that he had in the homelands about this incident. And subsequently, there were confessions made to him. Funny how Constable Zungu never made mention of this Fiso Zungu. Then the question is, who heard about the planning? And that is why I say statement is relevant to this. Nxumalo then asked him, the word planning means orchestration. My question relates to prior to the incident. Is there a person who was with them at the hostel and he heard the planning of this incident?
Hey,
Well, Gininda said if advocate
hey,
Nxumalo-
Busan, I hear you. Busan is saying, so this kid need to feel special. Other people, hey, Busan, you now understand. When Busan go and you have to come and testify in that court.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this court that Bontans are claiming themselves, no, man. these statements were wrote for us. We had to just put
Sign
our
and
signature
put
there.
the initials.
We're forced to put. Ucabanga ukuthi ukhona umuntu ongafuna ukuza nje willy-nilly. I mean, we are talking about someone who's coming from the same area with these people, you know. Some of them are his cousins. Do you think he would do that?
He is related to them.
You know, do you think he would go and say, yeah, yeah, no. If he was there, if he did that, believe me, he would be in court. If those statements
like Constable
belong to
Zungu
him, he would be in court. He'd be saying, like Constable Zungu, yebo.
Yebo.
You know, but he's not saying yebo.
He's not there.
He's not writing. You can check your Facebook. The guy is not there.
And the troubling thing here is because Brigadier Gininda commissioned the statement, Gutiwa, he can use their statements without them being.
We are learning.
That's the most troubling part.
And you can see he's itching to go there.
He wants to go.
Nxumalo
Statement.
The Nxumalo is just he just looks at the judge and looks at him. It's like you can tell. It's like this one. You think I'm a buffoon. I'm not going there. I'm not going there. What are you saying? You want me to and then so that my lord, the defense made that bed. They must sleep on it. They must lie on it, my lord. They are the ones who opened that statements. They are the ones who brought that statement, who were probing the witness about that statement. So my lord, I submit that the statement must be accepted, and that's how it's gonna be. And
let him finish. He wants to explain.
And then the judge is gonna be like, let him finish. Read it all. Let it. Hey, Kosiam, Jehovah. This case. If we don't go cuckoo after this case, I shall be strong.
I will be strong. You're high.
This is the worst. Can you imagine the families? It's a roller coaster. You are watching this thing, you're like, you power to Valley TV, that's the. Even sometimes I had to pause. I paused. Luckily, it's YouTube.
Yeah.
You can pause, you know?
And take a break and breathe.
Take a break and come back and think again. Imagine.
Yeah. Well, Gininda said if Advocate Nxumalo says there's a witness that says he heard that they were going to kill Senzo, then no, there is no person. But if you go through the statement, it unpacks what happened. This person was directly involved.
This case is all about what Gininda thinks.
Yeah.
If you put it in the right context, it's all about what he thinks. You know? It's all about what he thinks.
Yes, it's his speculations.
So we are in a court of speculations of one person.
Yes. So Nxumalo said, so there is no witness that says he was present with the accused and he heard the planning. Gininda said there's no witness that says that they are going to kill Senzo, but they do have a witness that saw them in the hostel before they left and when they came back and heard the utterances that were made. Nxumalo then asked him, how did you meet Zungu, the police officer? Gininda said, I indicated that the former police commissioner called me and informed me that there was a person that was there to see me. I don't know how he got to the office of the commissioner.
I'm sorry, man. The boy is killing me. He's saying the statement of Absalom has a word like subsequently. No, that's true. I heard that word. I think I heard that word. I was like, wow. This word cannot be common. It does. It has a word subsequently. And I'm like, wow.
I need to go look at it again.
Yeah,
I need to watch it again. It is subsequently.
I don't know whether it's subsequent or furthermore, but between the two, there's one word that is there.
What? Subsequently.
Continue, finish.
Well, Gininda said he does not know how Zungu made it to the National Commissioner's office. And on the 12th of November, the meeting did not materialize. And Nxumalo asked him, is there anything you asked him about this incident? And Gininda said, I think with Brigadier Perumal, but with me, it was in relation to his father. How did you get to talking to him about his father? How did it get there? You know. And Nxumalo says, so you did not ask him about anything, any involvement of the killing of Senzo Meyiwa? And Gininda said, no, with me it was in relation to his father, so I did not ask him at that stage. It was only after his name kept coming up. So Nxumalo now turned to Zungu's evidence in chief, where he outlines that he was referred to Gininda by the National Commissioner. He also confirmed that General Leshabani contacted him in relation to Gininda later that year. He also indicates that he was asked what he knows about the death of Senzo Meyiwa, and he said he knew nothing. So Gininda said that this confirms what he had been saying. He said that the Brigadier Perumal was there and he was with him. He was the one following up on Zungu's father.
This man, I've never seen something like that. Emily, we are talking now.
Yes.
And I remember our conversation.
Yes.
You denounce it. You push it to someone else.
Yeah. Yes, Perumal. Yes. It's hot. Perumal.
No one is safe.
Even Advocate Valo is not safe.
It's like the food yeah do kwe.
No one is safe. If I cannot answer a question, someone must answer it on my behalf. Remember how Mokhani Mukhula were saying, Brigadier Gininda, my lord. Brigadier Gininda is the one who will answer that question, my lord.
Brigadier
Gininda. Brigadier Gininda is the one who will answer, my lord.
Yeah, she is.
Now Brigadier Gininda is here, and Brigadier Gininda is passing the baton to everyone he can think of.
Everyone, even Balo is catching. There, right there, through pass, right here next to you.
Yes.
The state was the one responsible for this. If you wanted to. Is that food you had to do quietly with cheese?
Nxumalo said that it does not end there. He went on to point out that Zungu, that he did not know anything about the murder of Senzo. Gininda said that there are issues that must be dealt with Zungu. It would be unfair for him to cast aspersions. Then Advocate Baloyi stood up to indicate that Advocate Nxumalo is not referring to evidence in its entirety. He said that Zungu then explained the issues on page 60, where he subsequently detailed what he knows. And Zungu said that he was certain it was them. Nxumalo said that he was quoting the part that he is interested in. And obviously the witness was talking about the events of the 26th of October 2014, where he says that on 2 occasions he met Brigadier Gininda and informed Brigadier Gininda that he doesn't know anything about this case. So the judge said that it depends on the interpretation. Angazi Luto can mean that I don't know nothing about this case, or I wasn't there when this happened. So if you like, you can interpret to me that he didn't know anything, but somebody says I know nothing. It can mean he wasn't there when this happened. So that's why maybe he goes on to page 60 and talks about the other thing that he said he doesn't know. Well, the judge will, guys, back by popular demand, he's going to say a lot of things and then say he doesn't know at the end, and then expect us not to interpret that as him taking a side. So he said, that's how I interpret this whole thing. The judge said that's why Brigadier Gininda said he had a meeting with him subsequently, and he doesn't know if Zungu denies that he never met with Brigadier. The Brigadier made a statement with the father of Zungu, so it's not a yes or a no. So trying to create also that opportunity for Brigadier Gininda to go on and on and on with an answer that is equivalent to 2 essays. And also, I cannot believe, I'm baffled. I'm flabbergasted, as Cat Williams will say. I'm flabbergasted by Advocate Baloyi telling Nxumalo how to cross-examine. You should have told him. I feel like Advocate Nxumalo should have said to him, you can address this with me during re-examination. I don't understand why you have to stand up and ask me to read an entire page. He wanted him to read the full page of the record just because it's him. He's interjecting in their cross-examination, and he's saying that Nxumalo must not only read the phrase that he chose to read, he must read the entire page 60.
Bra George.
Haibo Gahleng.
Bra George.
Nxumalo, you must tell him you have an opportunity to address this at re-examination. Why must I read the entire page of the record just so you can feel better about yourself?
Says the same person who's doing the same thing.
How? I'm like,
says the same person who dropped Kelly as a witness. No one questioned him. No one dares to question him because there is a judge there who's a PA who's gonna work.
Because yamfakazela lokho anikezana namatlu ukuthi umbaloyi must object how in which
It's cartel.
Re-examination.
No, we're not is cartel. We are tired. All is alleged though. However,
everything is alleged.
All is alleged.
Everything is alleged. I'm done.
Now that we think, yes, Emily. Before you, can I ask for today? Tomorrow is an office day for me. I have to rest a bit. Otherwise, I'm gonna be dozing off there. At least if I'm working from home, it's better. So can I ask that I do not take calls today? We'll combine them tomorrow. It's Wednesday tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll combine them and we'll take them. I am sorry and I'm thanking you in advance. Please press that like button, and then or maybe if it doesn't happen tomorrow properly, then we can have a Saturday session where we can sit down and discuss.
Yeah, if you want
we will call for tomorrow, but yeah. Numbia Queen, thank you. Dokas, thank you. Shanjiwe, thank you. Lindiwe, thank you. Mamfunega, thank you. Vostando, thank you. Caesar 18, thank you. Umkosi Natal, thank you. Dokas Shabalala, thank you. Debua, thank you. Ben, thank you. Let me see. Refilwe, thank you. Hey, I'm on a comment today. You guys were making me laugh. Laura, thank you, our member. Thank you, Busani. Sibanda, thank you. Let me see who am I missing here. Shanji, I've mentioned you. Tandega Zondi, thank you. May too, Mhlanga, thank you. Thank you for your contribution and correction. The person apparently who admitted that the guy was within the parameters of the court, I mean of the station was the same. Is it not Mapena Mangen? Eventually, when he was probed, right? He was there.
The vicinity of what station?
When Danzi was
courtroom.
Yes.
Yeah, it was Mangena. We corrected it, guys. Apologies.
Yes. He's the one who said, the guy was there.
It wasn't Mohani, it was Mangena.
But he was not. He didn't go to that house where Danzi was at. Yes. Mo Mahampa, ne?
I think it's Mahampa.
Mahampa.
Yes. They approved. They said
Mahampa. It's Mahampa. Hey, mina phela ujiki uji ono uka. Nick Nxumalo, thank you. Fundile, thank you. Siba, thank you. Chuku Anna, thank you. We appreciate you, Chuku Anna. You for being with us.
Yes,
Eva, thank you. I'm going through some of you. Vustand, I've mentioned you. Yeah, guys. I guess bonane futhi kusasa. Pedro, hey, thank you. Let me see. Who am I missing? Kilemuhile, thank you. We appreciate you guys. I'm just Zandile K. Yeah. Hey, uno Zandile Nxumalo la. Zandile K. Thank you. Fedi, thank you. The gift, thank you. Let me see. Rash, thank you. Joe Munar, thank you. We appreciate you guys. I wish I could read all of you. Mautuane, thank you. Let me see. And we have Hleshe. Thank you, our member there. And then let me see this one. Yeah, that's basically it, guys. If I didn't mention your name, was Uguti. I did not see it, but I might see it tomorrow. Thank you very much. Please press that like button on your way out. Tembelan Kanye, thank you. Chris Mandla, Danko. Yes, abanye ke sengibashilo. Thandeka Zunda mentioned you. Who else? Who else? I don't wanna leave. Njomane 18. Njomane Kamkap. Thank you. Shing. Thank you, our caller. This is most person who calls. I'm sure he's the one who's angry that today. I go. I was funny. Thank you guys, and it's a bye from me.